The Dover Boys of Pimento University, or The Rivals of Roquefort Hall. Did you get all that? Because I'm not repeating it. This cartoon was directed by legendary animator Chuck Jones in 1942. Jones had joined the Leon Schlesinger production company in 1933, which was in the business of producing Merry Melody and Looney Tunes shorts for Warner Brothers. Jones got his first taste of the director's chair in 1938 with The Night Watchman. In 1939, he directed Naughty But Mice, which marked the debut of Sniffles the Mouse, Jones's very first staple character for the Looney Tunes lineup. But despite everything, Leon Schlesinger and the higher-ups at Warner Brothers weren't that impressed with Jones's efforts and insisted that he make his cartoons funnier. And one of the cartoons that Jones responded with was The Dover Boys, a satire off of a juvenile series of books from the early 20th century called The Rover Boys. This short focuses on three young students of Pimento University, or PU for short. The boys' names are Tom, Dick, and Larry, a nod off to the old phrase, Tom, Dick, and Harry, which was often used as a placeholder for unspecified people. The trio are enjoying a day out with their girl, Dora Standpipe. However, during a game of hide-and-seek, the villainous Dan Backslide takes advantage of the opportunity to kidnap Dora and win her heart for her father's money. Dan Backslide is actually a caricature of Ken Harris, one of the animators on Jones's team. The first thing you'll notice about this cartoon is its comical speed. World War II was in full swing around this time, and there was a lot of money going towards the war effort. Hollywood had to cut corners on several productions to keep the budgets down. Animation was no exception. So, to save time and paper, Chuck Jones and his team devised a new animation technique called smear animation. For example, look at this moment here. It's just 3 frames. The beginning, the end, and the middle frame is composed of the entire shift from point A to point B. Under normal circumstances, this would have taken up more frames to show the movement in more detail. But since they were pressed for time and money, Jones and his team decided to smear the whole movement onto a single frame, resulting in the cartoon having its own comedic style. Growing up, I had seen several movies and cartoons where heroes have to save the damsel in distress. But this is the cartoon that introduced me to the idea of the quote-unquote helpless damsel actually doing a fantastic job of defending herself. For me, it was mind-blowingly hilarious to see that the villain would prefer punishment from the heroes rather than the hostility of his own hostage. But again, Schlesinger and Warner Brothers were not satisfied with the end result and began making plans to fire Jones. However, due to the labor shortage caused by the war, they were forced to keep him on a while longer. According to Jones, he said, "They hated it, and if they hadn't been block booking theaters, they would have withheld it and thrown me out." But you can't argue with success. The Dover Boys was highly praised among American audiences, and as a result, future Looney Tunes shorts would adopt the cartoon's comedic speed and timing. Even Chuck Jones, who would later become highly critical of his early work, would mark the Dover Boys as the very first cartoon of his that he found to be funny. It's hard to imagine where Chuck Jones would be today if the studio had let him go. We obviously wouldn't have gotten all the other Looney Tunes classics that he directed, nor any of his works post-Warner Brothers either. The Dover Boys helped save Jones's career, and for that, we will always be thankful.